Hello, Lauren here. I've grabbed a few minutes and stepped out of the warehouse, and I'm sitting in my car. I'm enjoying the views from here. I can see a beautiful bridge, and often over the bridge you can see the sunset or the clouds or a rainbow the other day, and it's quite beautiful. I wanted to debrief with you some of the interesting things I've discussed with my counselling clients over the last couple of days. In my last informal chat with you, I talked about the, what did I call it? The turtle approach, which was coined by a psychologist, and I referred to him in the last piece of content. The importance of taking time to reflect on our state of mind, the importance of taking time to consider who we are and what we feel in any one moment. Two of my beautiful, beautiful clients in the last couple of days were speaking with me, and they were quite exuberant, interested, invested in what they had to say. And I found what they had to say interesting. That aside, in order to truly internalize the events in our life, in order to truly reflect upon the events in our life, in order to be able to self-unpack, or in a way counsel ourselves. Of course, I recommend counselling to you all, and you know I do counselling, but at the same time, we can empower ourselves to a point to self-counsel or to seek self-counsel, that is, counsel ourselves. There are several ways to do this, but it starts with having perspective, looking down upon your life and considering, contemplating, reflecting upon, deliberating upon, meditating upon that experience. And as we do so, being able to unpack or define, segment the difference between our egoic self and our conscious, true individual self. Both selves are important. We are an animal, we are a herd animal, we are a tribal animal. We exist in a herd, and to know ourselves, it's important to be aware of our tribal self, our need to belong, our egoic self. So words such as embarrassment, pride, guilt, shame, these are all innate, instinctive sentiments, and they're also learned. Why do we have these sentiments of shame, guilt, embarrassment? In order to fit in with the herd. We need to fit in with the herd in order to be safe. We live our best sense of selves. We thrive in an optimum social structure. Then the other side of ourself is our individual conscious self, that part of ourself where we reflect and consider who we truly are. Both selves are important. We cannot negate either self. We can't negate our social self, our animal self, our herd self, or our conscious self. They live alongside each other. So one of the ways, we talked about this in the last video, one of the ways to self-counsel, to self-unpack, is to reflect, reflective practice, to look back with some perspective on what occurred, with a level of detachment. Now remember, the egoic self is attached. The conscious self is detached. We are both at the same time. Isn't it an exciting life we lead? Goodness me, navigating between our animal self and our conscious self. oh my goodness, our life is exciting. And we vary our sense of self depending upon which subculture we mix with. And we can still be authentic to ourselves while varying the mask we wear in the subculture in which we are present. We compromise ourselves in ways in order to fit in and adhere to the particular values in each subculture in which we mix. And that's okay. To be truly authentic, to be truly unadulterated in our authenticity, we would negate the needs of others. So you could raise the question, are we ever truly authentic? Because if we are truly ourselves, then we would not allow for, listen to, or adjust ourselves for the need of others. Our socialness, our ability to be social, requires that we compromise. In each relationship, there is a sense of compromise. And this can be of benefit. It can help us to demonstrate kindness, empathy, and at times we can over-compromise. It's a balance. It's an exciting, riveting balance that we live. My amazing client said to me, oh, I don't think I'm a tortoise, Lauren. Was it tortoise or turtle I said in the last? I think it was turtle. Both fits. She said, I don't think I'm a tortoise in my speaking. I think I'm a bit of a kangaroo. And I thought that was so funny because, and we were talking about cadence in speech. I was thinking it was so funny because I'm so a kangaroo. It really resonates me, the thought of trying to be the turtle in my cadence. And then I just end up being the kangaroo, jumping all around. We all kind of identify with kangaroos and turtles sometimes with our vocal cadence, don't we? We have the ability to look down upon our behaviour and self-reflect. One of the ways we do this is to slow down our speech. Ensure that we have a pregnant pause between each sentence. Our words are not there to fill in the space of silence. Our words are there to be meaningful. Do your words fill in silence, fill in the gaps, fill in the quiet, or do your words have meaning? We have more power and we are more empowered when we choose less words spoken with meaning and deliberation. Listening to me speak at the moment, it's almost like a black comedy because at the moment I'm balancing working in the warehouse, driving trucks, doing YouTube, counselling. And I was saying to my client today, I am so not there. Anybody that says to you that they understand the way of the world, that they've got it, that they're detached, that they're wise. We are only who we are in that moment in time, and then it's past, and then we relearn who we are. And that is the dance of life. We are encouraged to be present. Let us be mindful that our present is only our internalizing of past moments. So does our present even exist? If our present is only the summary of past moments, or are we forever dancing on the lip of a cliff, internalizing past moments? Is being present actually philosophically possible? Does it matter? if we aim to be present, if we aim to have faith, that's what matters. I think about my dad's, and I'm sure I've told you this, beautiful phrase when I said to him, because he was coming closer to death, and I said, Dad, Dad, and those of you who have followed me have heard this, Dad, Dad, do you think there's a God? And he stopped what he was doing and he said, Lauren, you're asking the wrong question. And I said, no, I'm not. I'm worried. I was worried about him and really worried about myself because I was worried about missing him. I said, Dad, Dad, do you think there's a God? He said, Lauren, you're asking the wrong question. And then he continued, Lauren, it does not matter if there is a God or if there is not a God. What matters is how I behave. If I behave as if there is a God, that is what matters. My behavior, not the final result of that behavior. Behaving as a Christian is more important than asking, is there a God? Why? Or wanting a resolution. I always think of that because as humans, we can be somewhat desperate. Oh, I'm only going to do this if I know that is going to occur. It is our behavior, for the sake of our behavior, that matters, that gives us meaning. And at the end of the day, our behavior is all that gives us worth, because our body ages. Everything changes. It is our behavior that gives us honor and dignity and grace. I hope you're all well. I'm going to go inside in a minute and do a couple of things in the warehouse. Remember, I counsel on Simply Book Me. You can book a counselling session with me. Thank you to all of you who listen to my content. Thank you for sharing my content. Sharing my content is incredibly helpful to me. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for following me on Patreon. Thank you for listening to my podcast. Thank you for being you. This place, there's trucks everywhere. They're the most amazing trucks. I wish I could kind of grab you and have you experience this experience. I do love the balance between driving trucks and creating meditation content. It's amazing. Life is amazing. You can have incredible adversity and feel that it's just hopeless. And then hope rears its beautiful head like a blooming flower. Even though at times we're kangaroos, we still can learn to be turtles and sit in the moment and enjoy the moment. My mother told me the most terrible joke about turtles. Every time I talk about turtle philosophy, I think about my mum's joke. She had the most blackest humour. It was so funny. Be safe. Take care of yourself. The greatest joys in life are often the most simple. Let's take a pause. Look around you and notice. The one thing you know as a human being is that you have endless resilience. You can get up, you can move forward, you can recover, and it will be okay, and it is okay. Thank you.